Hello again. We are Chris Lee and Chase Robinson of Southeastern 16 here to preview and make predictions about Cal's trip to Auburn. You can catch that at 2:30 Central on ESPN2, or not if you're a DirecTV customer like I am. Auburn is 1-0 after a 73-7 win over Alabama A&M. Cal is 1-0 after a 31-13 win over UC Davis. Auburn, according to BetOnline, a 13.5-point favorite with an over-under of 53.5, which implies a final score of Auburn 30, Cal 20. We will preview both sides in the matchup, but before we do, Chase Robinson, tell the folks who sponsors our content, please.
Yeah, we're sponsored as always by BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. You think you know your stuff? You can get in on a $200,000 mega contest. Pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance to win weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, you can go to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker or one of the over 150 slots games. Head over to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here.
All right, let's start when Cal's got the ball. The Golden Bears had just 281 yards of offense last week against UC Davis. Jayden Odd, their preseason Phil Steele's second-team All-ACC pick. Boy, I'm still having a hard time getting used to saying that. 14 carries, 49 yards, 2 scores, added 4 catches for 34 yards receiving. He led the Pac-12 with 1,315 rush yards last week. Had a little trouble throwing the ball. Fernando Mendoza, their quarterback, 15 attempts or 15 completions in 22 attempts, 158 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That offense just couldn't stay on the field last week. In the first half, I think they were outsnapped about 2-1. And Auburn's defense, not a star-studded group, but it's been a steady one, was good last year and was certainly very good last week in a mismatch win over Alabama A&M.
Yeah, you look at Cal, they've got a new offensive coordinator. They've changed things up from kind of what we saw if you watched that Cal Auburn game last week. Things are different. You see a different scheme. You see, they're spreading the ball out and everything and moving quick, very high tempo offense. And so that's different from what Auburn saw last week. And so we'll see how they react to that. But I think when you look at this Cal team again, a lot of changes on offense, and we saw it wasn't the game that we thought probably we should have saw against Cal and UC Davis. And so I think Cal has some work to do, and they're coming into Jordan-Hare Stadium in a very tough environment to play Auburn, and again against the defense who played good against Alabama A&M. Now you have to look at the opponent of who they played, but I like what they've done on defense at Auburn. But yeah, scheming wise for Cal, it's different from anything they've seen, but nothing that Auburn can't stop fairly easy, I feel like.
All right, let's talk about the other side of the matchup. Cal struggled on defense last year. I think was supposed to be a little better this year, and certainly in week 1 seemed to be. 304 yards allowed to UC Davis. Teddy Buchanan, who transferred from UC Davis to Cal, led the team with 9 stops. They've got a couple of preseason second-team All-ACC type guys. Cade Ulavi, I guess is how you pronounce it. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. He was the Pac-12 Defensive Freshman of the Year last year. Safety Craig Wooden, a second-team All-ACC guy preseason. Secondary had 3 picks last week. And then let's talk about Auburn's offense. I think that game was only 50 minutes. They got 73 points. And it's Alabama A&M. They were awful. It's an athletic mismatch. But this feels like the kind of game last year where Auburn might have scored, 44, 45 points and called it a day. Certainly they reloaded with athletes. They really made an effort to rebuild that room, the wide receiver room. I guess the question is, are they better at quarterback? And certainly they were a week ago.
Yeah, and I feel like with the group of receivers they have, it's just elevated the offense, And I was listening to Hugh Freeze's press conference this week before we did this video, and just hearing him talk about the defense at Cal, just how they have just about everybody back from last year, And that was the defense last year that held Auburn to like 14 points. I think it was 14-10 was the final. Auburn beat Cal out in California. And so it's same coordinator, a lot of the same guys back on defense for Cal. And so they kind of know what to expect in some ways. But this Auburn offense is so much better than it was last year. Again, because of the receivers, Peyton Thorne has another year under his belt. Group of receivers and Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, KeAndrew Lambert-Smith, just to name a few. Like, this is a very deep receiver room. And then you look at Jarquez Hunter and Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb running the football. So I feel like the Auburn offense has elevated up several notches, and that will definitely help playing a now experienced Cal defense, who maybe they weren't as experienced last year, but they have 12 games under their belt. And so a lot more experience on this Cal defense, but the Auburn offense has elevated themselves so much more. I feel like that kind of causes a mismatch.
Yeah, plus you got Jarquez Hunter to pound it out the running game if you get a lead. And let's go to picks. I feel like offense is the name of the game in the NCAA. And I don't know if Auburn's offense is going to be in what people are hoping it'll be. It's certainly not. I mean, 73-3 last week. That's you can sort of throw that one out. But yeah, I think they're better. And on the other side, Cal couldn't generate 300 yards against UC Davis last week. Now, you're probably going to see better performances from Ott, but that's a concern between that and the trip, the miles you fly, which Cal's going to do a lot this year to Auburn. That's going to be a long trip. I don't know. I just think everything points to Auburn here. I feel like Auburn's going to get a double-digit win, and people are going to leave feeling pretty good about where this team is coming after Saturday.
I think for an afternoon game, Jordan-Hare Stadium is going to be rocking down in Auburn, and I think they will have a lot to cheer about. I think just with the fact that they utilized so many receivers this past Saturday, I think they're going to be able to do that again. There's so much depth in the receiver room, and I think Peyton Thorne, we saw more consistency from him last week. Now, we need to see more and more consistency every week, and a lot more consistency this week than last year when these two teams met. But I just feel like Auburn has made the improvements that they needed, one along the defensive line and two at receiver, where I think they're going to be able to put up a lot of points on Saturday in Jordan-Hare Stadium. And I think you're going to see catches from Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson and Lambert-Smith and maybe four other receivers. I think there's so many receivers to be able to touch the ball. They may only get 1-2 catches apiece, but there's going to be a lot of receivers on the board, and I think Auburn's going to be able to put a lot of points up on the board as well. I'm going to take the Tigers in a big win over Cal.
By the way, the model that I've built, which has got FPI, SP Plus, Sagarin, a bunch of them, has got Auburn by 15. So it likes the Tigers by even more than Vegas does. So I think we feel pretty confident in taking Auburn. We will talk about it Saturday night, win or lose. And the best way to find us is to hit the subscribe button and enable your notifications so you know when we go live. Also, we reach millions of people a year as we cover SEC football, baseball, and basketball. If you're interested in advertising, caroline.smith@southeastern14.com. Yes, I know we are now Southeastern 16, but it'll get there. Anyway, thank you for watching. For Chase Robinson, I am Chris Lee. We are Southeastern 16, presented by Bet Online.